And that's it. For the first time in 20 years, Iowa State knocks off Iowa. An incredible dual meet with the Cyclones coming out on top 20-14. JD, just your initial thoughts on this duel before we dive into every other match.
Initial thought is like, this is history, right? Like, you're watching it. Finally, the curse is broken. Every year, how many years have we said this is the path to victory for Iowa State? And this year they actually got it done. And the craziest thing is like, not everything went right for them.
No.
Right? It felt like going in this year, you think back 2 years ago, that was the year they were like kind of favored, and it was just didn't go their way. And there were this whole duel was a roller coaster because there were times where it's like, all right, well, now Iowa's kind of lucked up. Like, you think about, like, they lose 25, or Younger gave up to Major, and then they're going into Drake, and it's like, okay, well, not everything went right for Iowa State. So this is how Iowa wins. 49, Ryder Block wins.
Right.
That's how Iowa wins this duel, because that's just what they do. But they didn't this year.
They didn't. And the tone was set at 285 by Younger Bastida. It felt like in a lot of the matches, the Cyclones were looking to score more. They were taking more attacks. And in a match between two All-Americans, Younger Bastida went after Ben Keeter from start to finish. Got 3 takedowns, but the end was pretty interesting when he was trying to ride out for that major and just gave up an escape to win only 11-4, 1 point away from that major.
Yeah, he did it, and I can't remember if it was the first or the second too, but he gave up a late escape with like 6 seconds left. So Matt game for Younger has become like not a factor.
In the
but
negative?
It's still definitely not something he's going to win on.
No, definitely not. But, I mean, if you can get 3 takedowns on the Ben Keeters of the world, you're going to be in great position to potentially win a national title. I thought Younger wrestled really well and, like, start to finish, right? He was looking to score, and he wrestled with the mentality of, I'm trying to bonus point. He got a first period takedown. He tried to get a second. He wasn't trying to win the match. He really wanted to dominate, and it was a great tone. But, man, the counter punch at 25 came from Dean Peterson, getting some revenge on Steve O'Pullen after losing last year in the round of 12. Dean Peterson gets it done, a 4-2 winner over Steve O'Pullen. What did Dean show you there?
And you said counterpunch. It was a gut punch at the time
for
Iowa State because, like I said, it felt like that was one Iowa State probably needed on paper if you're thinking about how they win this duel. And Steve-O was 90% of the way to the winning takedown at the end. And then Dean Peterson just kind of big brothered him, hipped over, and it was like not much takedown there. It was just brute, want, and force. And I'm going to go get this. I'm gonna win this match.
I mean, JD, to your point, I'm pretty sure we said 5 minutes before the duel started, 125. It doesn't feel like Iowa State can win this duel meet without winning 125. And they didn't win 125, and they won the duel meet. And really illustrated what a close and competitive duel meet this was from a matchup standpoint. But yeah, I think it was a Dean Peterson shot, a Steve O'Pullen counter, like you said, got really close. And then Dean got the finish and the win, big win there. And then you go into 133, and things are kind of rolling Iowa's way. Drake Ayala gets the slide-by takedown, and you feel like things are going his way. And then the third period, Evan Frost made a statement.
Yeah, huge. And the thing about that is, like, Frost is obviously known weight cutter. Anytime there's a big weight cutter, and Frost has never really had an issue with this, but every time you have a big weight cutter, it's in the back of your head. Like, how's the gas tank going to hold up? How's it going to hold up in a huge match like this? How's it going to hold up against a high-octane guy like Drake Ayala? And Frost just, he got it done when it counts. And I don't know if I'm ready to catapult him into that Davino, Blaze, maybe Crookham. I don't know. Who knows where Crookham's
Remember,
at
Drake
right
wasn't close with Davino either.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying this win doesn't necessarily catapult him into that. It's like, but this is still a big win for Frost because it's a hump he hasn't been able to hop.
Right.
Yeah, so it shows progression because I don't think Drake has regressed. I think some people might say that based off of him losing to Davino and kind of getting smashed by Davino. But to me, it doesn't look like Drake has regressed. That to me was just Frost has gotten better.
Reality is here, this could have been an uglier score. Frost was in on a couple attacks that he didn't quite finish, was in great position, and Drake, just gritty in some positions, was able to stop some scores. So honestly, 11-5, it really could have been that 14-5 or worse for Evan, which is crazy to think about. And then, I mean, they kept it rolling at 141.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Echemendia, and we felt comfortable like Anthony should win this match. He's got such an advantage from neutral. But it was a bigger advantage than I think even we thought. I thought it'd be a couple takedowns, 15-2 final. And it was, honestly, that score doesn't show how far away Nasir was from scoring at any point in time on Echemendia. Yep. Never close to neutral. Really limited attacks until the third period when it felt like he was just kind of shooting to avoid getting teched. And really just at the end there, Echemendia's cutting to try to get the tech. And Nasir, just kind of my lasting image is him just on bottom, not moving. And Echemendia's cutting him. He's just holding underneath. Like, Nasir has a long way to go to contend for All-American at 141. I think he's got a little ways to go there. But man, for Echemendia, he looked amazing. Looked to score the whole time. We've talked about how good he is when he gets around the body, and he did.
Yeah, that where he like high-kneed over with the body lock and the plant, that or Zerban's return was the move of the meet. Crazy.
So at that point, it's 10-3 Iowa State, and you're feeling like Iowa State can probably not seal it, but put themselves in an amazing position if Pinheiro Johnson can knock off Ryder Block and do what he's favored to do. And this is that counterpunch yet again from Iowa. Ryder Block wins 2-1 in tiebreakers. And we said, we were even wrong about this. We tried to level set that this could be a low score. We said this will be a 1 takedown match. Actually, it was a 0 takedown match. No one got any takedown. Pinheiro was close in sudden victory, and he was definitely more aggressive, but neither guy really all that close to take down apart from that Pinheiro attack. But Ryder Block continuing to win matches.
Look, Frost, I hope there was something wrong with him because it's got to be malpractice by Dresser to keep doing Pinheiro out there. Big matches, like, that's tough, right? You're on a roster battle that, like you said before, this is your chance you lost to wrestle off, but this is how you win your spot, right?
Yeah.
How many times have we seen it where a guy loses to wrestle off, but he does better throughout the season, right? When he puts him out there.
My thought is if Frost was available, he would have gone. I don't think he was available. I think something happened. Weight-wise, in illness, something. Maybe we'll find out more, but that's my read.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
But that put Iowa back in, as you're doing okay, we should win this, they should win that. 10-6 going into 157 is not that bad for the Hawkeyes. There was still a path there for Iowa. And then Vinnie Zerban, Jordan Williams, Zerban an 11-3 major decision. And again, the body language here, some of the I don't want to call effort, but they're on the edge, and Jordan Williams just concedes a takedown. He just stopped.
I don't know if he heard if he thought he heard a whistle, or if he was like, we're out of bounds, so I'm gonna stop, or what.
But he gave up a late takedown that put it in major decision territory. But the mat return to his back.
Yeah.
Talk him through that one.
So Zerban's kind of behind, steps in between. Just takes him almost like a headlock, but around the body where you go over the hip, finish like Kyle Dake mat return almost with a slam at the top arm.
Yeah, got forward near fall there, and that obviously did that. At that point in the match, it was in the balance, right? And then once he got that 4, it's like, okay, he's going to do it.
This match was kind of almost like this duel overall in terms of at the beginning there were so many swings where it was like, Zerban got the takedown, and then he got on top and was like riding so well, and then all of a sudden Jordan just reverses him at the end. And it was kind of the same thing too. There was another time, I can't remember exactly what happened after that, where these two wrestlers, you said it during, are the most like no, yes type guys ever. Mm-hmm. Where you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you reaching back? And then it works out, or something like that. And there are all these swings, and then one big punch by Zerban, and that really opened it up.
Yes, and then at this point, the team score, Iowa State 14, Iowa 6, and still not out of it yet are the Hawkeyes, because 65, 74, 84, that was their wheelhouse, right? We knew that was going to be their opportunity to get back in this dual meet. And then Michael Caliendo, you're saying here, once he got that first quick takedown, you're like, okay, maybe a major's in play here. Ends up getting the tech 20-5 over Uten. That match was not close at all. And at the end, the match was already at hand. Then Uten started to limp. Looks like he's injured. It was his, knee giant brace on. Hopefully not a re-injury there, but either way, that match was a lot closer last year than it was this year. It's a 25, and Caliendo makes it a 3-point match with just a handful of matches to go.
A lot of Iowa's wins, I don't want to say felt bad, but you're thinking about Ryder winning without a takedown, Angelo winning without a takedown.
Yeah.
And like the Cyclone Store wins felt big. And exciting. They were
upsets,
a lot of scores. Caliendo wrestled like a Hawkeye should wrestle.
Yeah.
He came out there and took care of business, and overperformed. We're all thinking, potential upset watch. This match was close. No doubt. Left no doubt.
Okay, 174, the craziest match. The match, we'll call it the match of the year so far. Unbelievable between MJ Gaitan and Patrick Kennedy. What stands out to you about this one, JD?
It was the adjustments made by Kennedy in this match. The correct adjustments, but then he just couldn't figure out a way. And we said, because Gaitan scored twice on counters.
Yeah.
Right? His takedowns. And Caliendo clearly realized...
Kennedy
clearly realized mid-match, I can't shoot. I got to go underhooks, drive this dude out of bounds.
Yes.
Stalls. And it was working. And all of a sudden we go into overtime and it's like, okay, Kennedy is going to force this dude out of bounds again, or he's going to force him into a bad shot and be able to go behind or something like that. And Gaitan just got tough, held on, and it goes to tiebreakers, and he just clings.
Yeah, he and I'll say, like, there's a little debate online about the stall calls, and even here during Stakesgiving, a lot of people thought the stall calls on Gaitan maybe weren't warranted, but watching the match, Kennedy took all the attacks. All the scores were counters from Gaitan. So I think they really wanted to reward the offense that Kennedy was trying to get going. It felt like, thematically, I felt like this ref was just on top of stalling throughout the match.
I was going to say he called it similarly in heavyweight, but in favor of Younger the other way.
100%. I thought the stall calls were fine, and despite that, the counters, the scrambling of Gaitan was really good. And like you said, Kennedy could not make this match about baseline skills. It turned into something else. It turned into something where Gaitan wanted to be. And then the tiebreakers, did he give him near fall?
At the end?
Yeah. No near fall.
No, I don't think so.
He didn't get near fall at the end. It was just a ride out for Gaitan for the win. 9-8.
We didn't have audio in here, or it wasn't very loud. I couldn't hear. So I'm not sure. But that might have been locked hands. It looked like locked hands
100%.
On Kennedy in real time. And then I don't know if they didn't allow them to challenge because it was too far after, or if they took a look at it. And
I didn't see the brick until after the period,
either.
but that doesn't mean... and also, I bet none of the staff saw it because the start was facing away from both benches, so neither would have seen it. But we had the perfect angle. It was like shooting right at it.
So somebody got over and said, throw that brick.
He locked, but it was too late, and I think it would have been wrong.
Obviously,
just to
it didn't
look back.
matter, but would have been huge had it been
What it did do is give Gaitan a little bit of time to, get his breath and just get his bearings. And he got the ride out. Going into that final tiebreaker, I think he had to ride for like 12 seconds. And, of course, he got the ride out. But going into it, like, Kennedy was really selling out for the escape quickly and couldn't get it.
And I'm thinking about now, Kennedy, like, you're thinking, man, it's tough if you get a scrambly guy, right, who has a good gas tank. Because Kennedy, he clearly was, like, worse in the scrambles.
Yeah.
He got beat in the scrambles. So if you can't score by hitting your post high crotch and you can't wear a guy down so he's falling over at the end, you could be in a little bit of trouble.
What Kennedy needed to, or wanted to do is probably, can you get him to snap under you and where you could run? And then Gaitan he wrestled smart. He was really upright, didn't let himself get snapped out, didn't take any shots that could give up easy takedowns. And at the end of it, he gave the best post-match interview. He's talking about the media picked against it. I did for sure, and many others. And then he said, even someone at Casey's told me I wasn't going to win, which that is so Iowa. If you don't know, the general store, it's like a gas station. They get pizza. It's very important to the state of Iowa.
It's culture.
It's the culture. And this guy's can't get a breakfast pizza without someone telling him he's going to lose. Well, it didn't matter. He freaking won. And ultimately, this is the match that swung it for the cycle. This is when you start doing the math after 174. You're like, wait, this is going to be... I was going to need a bonus point between Angelo Ferrari and Mo and Dean, and I don't know how that's coming. As we saw at 184, 2-1 Angelo Ferrari, close to a couple takedowns, but the Dean defense was too much, at least in this scenario. Angelo still won on stalling. He did take all the attacks and was a deserved winner. But man, the defense of Isaac Dean has to be respected.
Yeah, he's got that tricky knee and clearly a little bit of pressure with the hips there. Then once he went tricky knee, then after was able to fight in and get his leg back. But my takeaway is I don't really know much. I don't take away much from this match when I'm thinking individually, because it's like, okay, Angelo winning. Right? That's what he does. He finds a way. Maybe actually a little bit stock up Dean.
Yeah.
But it's like, you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You just showed your defense. You showed your defense. You showed you can stay disciplined in a game plan, I guess. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty impressed. I think it's stock up for Dean. And being in that room has to be healthy. Ryder did a great job with Dean, but he's just the level of partners he has at Iowa State. It could be a difference maker.
And I guess stock up because, like I said, discipline to follow a game plan. Like Dean's kind of a Space Mountain guy, where you'll see where he got a really high ceiling and he can beat some of the really good guys at this weight, and then he can get kind of whooped by some guy you've never heard of.
Right.
And that's because he would get in all these crazy exchanges. Clearly, Iowa State was like, dude, do not shoot on this guy. Like, let him come to you and look for a counter from his single leg. And that's what he tried to do. He didn't go out there. I was kind of like, okay, well, Iowa's path to victory now might be bonus here.
Yes.
Because Dean might do something crazy and like throw himself to his back or for something. Because Angelo's not really a bunch of takedown mass shooter guy. No,
I thought... I actually thought going into that, I was like, watch Angelo going to come out and dog up and get the major, and Indeed's going to win. They come.
But this is the thing, too, with this duel.
You're looking around the corner like Boogeyman's right there.
Yes.
I was going to win it.
They do it every year. So, like, this is... Okay, now this is how they do it. Like,
yes.
Okay, Angelo, you would think probably only a regular decision here, but he's going to get the major because that's just what happened.
Yes.
It's in this duel. Rocky Elam is supposed to beat Mo and Dean.
But it's Cyhawk.
Yeah.
So it's not going to happen. But it did happen. Rocky Elam came out and he dominated this match. Very nearly a major decision. Rocky looked good. Feels like a guy, if you pitch count him to health through Big 12s at the NCAA tournament, this is a guy that could be wrestling Saturday night. He's huge. When he gets to legs, he is automatic. Ben Askren even confirmed this. He looked great. And... Dean, still an amazing start to his career at Iowa, but this was too big of a test right now.
Yeah, too much. It's not stocked down in Dean.
No.
For me, I think some people drink a little bit too much juice after a big win over Max Stout, which is a significant win. But Max Stout's definitely not that top tier of guy.
He's not Rocky Elam.
Correct.
Right. Rocky's super proven. So there it is. Duel in the books. Iowa falls for the first time since 2004. Tons more content coming about this. We've got the post-match press conferences. We're going to be talking about it tomorrow on FRL in even more depth. But we had to get out a rapid reaction live here from Steaksgiving. And with that, we're going to upload this video. Hope you guys have a great Sunday and enjoyed Cyhawk. Thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.